fight for you and treat your case with the care and dedication it deserves. Weathermark Keith. It's more to us. It's personal.
See the weather as it happens in downtown Chattanooga from the Local 3 Storm Alert Network. Clear views where you work and play, on air, online, and on the go. Presented by the Creative Discovery Museum. Explore, innovate, create, and play.
I'm Piper Stromat. I'm proud to introduce to you Piper's Picks, a collection of decorative lighting I've curated with Progress Lighting. You'll find the Piper's Picks collection exclusively at Wholesale Supply. View the latest lighting trends in a showroom near you.
Ice on the Landing at the First Horizon Pavilion. Skate now through February 2nd.
Welcome back to our Aging Well show. I hope that you're learning a lot as the hour goes along. We certainly are. I was just talking to the studio audience. They've not had a chance to ask a question yet, but they're so intently listening, they haven't had a question yet to ask. So let's jump in now and talk about the nutrition side of things, because it's no secret that our food really is not what it used to be. It's harder and harder, I think, to get the nutrients that we need through food alone. And then as you get older, and maybe your cooking habits change, that's another thing to add to that negative list. So am I right that it is harder and harder to get proper nutrition through diet alone?
So you can get a lot of proper nutrition through diet, but it depends on what you're putting in. So you definitely want to be putting in healthful foods. You definitely, things that I typically tell patients, dark leafy greens, you want them to be a priority through your day. A couple of reasons why: they are natural anti-inflammatory foods by those dark leafy greens. They help to, we talked about plaques and how that plays a part in our brain health and our cardiovascular health. So those dark leafy greens actually help to clean up some of those things within our body. So that should definitely be a priority. Some other things that you should probably steer clear from are things like dairy, and once again those processed foods and those oils, because those things are going to be more inflammatory producing types of foods. And then you definitely want to eat things that are going to put more omega-3s into your body for brain health. So from a plant perspective, it can be chia seeds, it can be flax seeds. It's great when you can eat these things, because what I like when people eat these things is that they also get the fiber. And so we know that gut health is also tied to our brain health as well. And so you're improving both by eating these things versus just taking a supplement, where supplements sometimes get broken down more, and you don't get as much of that overall nutrition. But if you've got a limited diet, then supplementation definitely could be helpful.
The gut is the second brain. Am I right in saying that your gut changes as we get older, though? Do the microbiomes in your gut either deplete, grow? Do they shift as we get older? Yes,
your gut can shift, and not just so much as you get older, but even at times of illness, your gut microbiome changes, depending on your dietary status. Your microbiome will be changing, but you can actually create a healthy gut microbiome by eating a lot of what's called prebiotic type of foods, and that's going to tend to be your more high fiber foods, your more fermented type of foods, and so then you can start to create that healthy gut, and then you can use probiotics even to help put down then more natural healthy bacterial growth within the gut.
So once again, you want to put quality in. So Ed, I'm going to throw this to you, because you, throughout the 46 years that you've been doing this, you yourself select each thing that comes into Nutrition World, right?
So cautious that if anything is a suspect, we remove it, for one. And I take a lot of supplements, but I do still believe, as Dr. Withers, the knife and fork is the most powerful weapon we have. The gym is the second. Supplementation's big into my life. But we can't. I have too many people who just think you can do these pills and they can eat unhealthy, and we can't do that. But I do like partnering with all of this trifecta of choices in our life. And I'm glad you mentioned the microbiome, because that is a second brain, and it's being destroyed by, number one, antibiotics, number two, glyphosate in our foods. That is Roundup that has been sprayed on 70% of the food you eat, that was patented as an antibiotic in 1972. People don't know that. So you're taking an antibiotic every time you eat corn, every time you eat soy. You are ingesting an antibiotic. So how are we going to fight that? One is try to buy foods that are not sprayed with glyphosate. I don't try to be perfect about it. Life's too good, and we need to enjoy our life, but we need to be cautious and have wise discernment. And then secondly, eat cultured foods, fermented foods, and the right probiotics. That's where we personalize at Nutrition World, because there's so many And we don't have all the answers, but with 400 people a day that come through Nutrition World, I have 37 staff members who are passionate, I have 17 practitioners. Our whole job is to empower people and personalize these choices, which is better for you, do we think, this one or this one? And sometimes it's none. It's better that you don't do any of this and go see someone else.
Let me ask you something, not to jump in, but we live in this world, and I'll go back to my mom and being 94, and she's done darn good to learn how to use a computer to a large degree, pays her bills online and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean that she likes it. And it is very difficult to talk face to face with somebody. I think I know for each one of you. That's what you'll receive if they reach out to you. Ed, if they come to Nutrition World, your staff's going to talk to them. Shayla, the same thing. Beth, Nancy, you really want conversation, just like we're providing this morning. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Right.
Is it important to stress?
Very important. Yeah, like Ed mentioned, you don't want people to kind of just out there doing it on their own without that proper support, because as I've seen folks who will come to my office and they'll have a whole bag of supplements and they still aren't feeling well. They don't really know why they're taking them. They just picked up a bunch of things versus having someone who's knowledgeable about those supplements, at Nutrition World, for instance, and getting something that's more quality, and then with me helping them to build their diet, they tend to maybe not even need all of those, just a few.
So we knew the hour was going to fly by, and Nancy just raised her hand, and I've got to catch my last commercial. So let me see if I'm going to get this right. Real quickly when we come back, we're going to give you some tips on why that sleep is so important, how it's directly linked to the health of your brain, give you some facts on that. Nancy has a podcast. She's going to talk about how she can kind of keep you connected with those loved ones, which is so important. Talk a little bit about stress and anxiety. I'm getting stressed out because we're running out of time, but stick around. Aging Well finishes up when we come back.
When it comes to your health, local matters. So join me for Eye on Health Report. Local experts sharing the latest information